everyone.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Bitch Sesh.
I'm Casey Wilson.
I'm Danielle Schneider.
This is a Real Housewives breakdown show.
It sure is. And so much more.
And so much less.
And so much less.
Oh, guys.
How are you, Kate?
I'm good. I feel like we're both giving a lot of energy at this later hour.
Yeah, it is a later. We've been doing some morning shows. So this it feels like the dead of night and it's like 8:30 p.m.
Yeah, this diet sun-kissed is doing me right. What's going on, Danielle?
Been a week. Highs and lows.
Well, can I brag on you for 1 second?
Sure, please. Yeah. Wow, sure.
I don't know that this is out there, but you and your best friend and writing partner, Donna Furman,
yes,
who's been a guest,
yes,
sold a pilot that they're shooting for America's Broadcasting Corporation.
For ABC. It's very exciting.
So exciting.
Yes,
Can I say who the lead is?
Sure, of course. It's all out there.
With Mr. Rob Riggle.
Rob Riggle, very funny guy. Also an old friend.
It's so cool, Danielle.
We're very excited about it.
So you guys are working your little heinies off.
We sure are, but it's been so much fun. And it's also, the studio executive in charge is also Amy Hartwick.
Another guest.
Former guest. We just really, it's a lot of guests. You know, like we haven't had Rob Riggle on the show. Maybe he'll come on.
Maybe he will to promote it when it's
how
inevitably picked up.
Of course it will be. Thank you.
You're welcome.
When?
When?
And you were also doing a pilot.
I am, and I'm starting tomorrow, so this is going to be a bit of a shorter pod.
So we need to get our girl to sleep. We need to make sure you're bright and bushy-tailed and looking and feeling
out in Woodland Hills. Oh, I do have one little thing to tell you. So I'm working with Busy Phillips, who I've known for years and is so lovely and sweet. And she told me offhandedly she's a Kanye West fan.
Okay.
But had not heard only one. Okay. I'm going to Instagram tomorrow the photo of her that she sent me after she listened to it. It's pretty powerful.
I mean, it affected me in a way, and I think it's only been shown at the live shows, but it affected me in a way that I don't know that I've come back from.
You've never recovered.
No, if people thought I was crazy for what happened to Erica Jane a few weeks ago when I just got emotional over that, what happens to me during...
Yeah, when you hear an actual song written in the voice of a mother...
Who has since passed.
Who's passed to her son, looking down on his life from heaven and at his granddaughter. It's pretty emotional, despite the fact, and I've said this before, that it's auto-tuned. Yes. You must get past that. Just push through it.
It's funny, I didn't even notice.
It's all I heard at the beginning, but you just push past that. Paul McCartney's on piano and Busy really...
As my father-in-law once said to me, you don't notice much, Danielle. God bless, he has since passed, but I love him very dearly.
Speaking of Danielle not noticing much, I don't know how this can segue.
Well, can segue in that, like... I don't know if this is a high or a low from this week. It's
there's someone that does notice a lot.
Yeah, there's someone who does notice a lot. Our good friend Morgan, also been on the podcast, Morgan Walsh. Her son and all of her kids go to this very progressive school. It's great in Los Angeles. And they were having sort of, I guess I would say an assembly, and I'm sure I'm getting this a little bit wrong, but an assembly about, sort of different genders. And they were talking about transgender and a lot of things on that sort of scope of talk. And they were just, telling the kids about like what it means and all sort of like the facets of that. And then, of course, when they were driving home, her son, who's, I'm going to say, what is he, 10 now? 9 or 10? Really smart boy, really sweet and funny. And he was discussing it with Morgan, and Morgan was saying, I actually have I have a few friends that are transgender. I have a really good friend who used to be a man and is now a woman. And her son said to her, "Is it Danielle?"
Is it Danielle?
Is it Danielle? As if to say, like, it's Danielle, isn't it? Was what I heard behind.
It's almost like he's like, Danielle, moving on, like Danielle Schneider.
It was the way it was phrased was as if just to say, we all know this is true and we can finally speak to it.
Yeah, and like finally a puzzle piece has been...
like he had suspecting something, was just...
something was...
different, or, and then he figured it out.
Now, do you think her son had seen the drawing of you... from Earwolf?
Well, they didn't say I was a meth head, trans person. That they said he just thought I had been a man and was now.
It's a tough anecdote.
Yeah,
and yet,
and look.
kids, they just say it. Say the darndest.
They do say the darndest.
Simply the darndest.
And that has been brought forward to us on television, many a television show.
Many hilarious plot lines have revolved around that.
Around just this thing. And so when Morgan said it to me, she knew that I
was a little shocked that our dear friend reported that to you, but you're such a great sport.
Yeah, like it made me laugh so hard. And also I thought to myself, like, I have a lot of insecurities, but like I feel like I do feel like I emote a
feminine woman.
Yeah. Again, I don't know what other people are getting from me, so that's to be told. But what I'm getting from me, granted, like I don't have on a stitch of makeup, and basically always in a jean and a tee. I mean, maybe he sensing. I don't know.
You love a jean jacket. Yes. I don't know, but I think I just love it's so good. So,
I mean, from the mouths of
Danielle.
babes.
Is it Danielle?
As if I felt it was more like, it's Danielle. Like we
Danielle.
all know. So that was, we're there and I'm fine. And like, if I can be that for people, sure. If I can take that on, I'm happy to.
It's just so good.
It's so perfect. And coming off of those drawings, that artwork, I've had a lot of questions about my appearance to myself.
You've taken a lot of knocks.
Yeah. And so to hear this, it was just like, okay, again, going back to the mirror, just looking for signs, looking for clues,
digging deeper
and just asking myself, who are you? And what do you look like to the world?
And asking him to change his ways.
Yes. Looking at the man in the mirror, quite literally.
Yeah. Indeed.
So, that happened.
Wow. Well, you also shared with my husband and I a vacation that you're planning.
Yes. I mean, it's not in the works. It's just in the kind of like the dreaming.
But you have it bookmarked in your phone. We noticed.
And I've been doing research on it. I know, as I've mentioned on the podcast before,
before you say this, Danielle, we're kind of in our dream vacations. It's like we want to go to Hawaii. Mm-hmm. We're trying to debate. Can we do that with 2 kids? When could we do it? Blah, blah, blah. I'd love to go back to Italy. I've always wanted to stay in one of those huts, like in Bora Bora over the water.
Like a yurt?
No, God, no. Like one of those, huts over the water.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Like Tamara and Eddie did when they got engaged. Yes. Okay, sure. Of course I know that.
So these are the kind of tropical locations I would love to go to. And now what's the bucket list vacation you're planning, Danielle?
I would like to go on the Band of Brothers tour. Hear me out. For those of you who have been listening to the podcast and I don't like to say a fan of World War II.
Fanatic.
That sounds strange, right?
You're a fanatic.
I'm interested in World War II.
Danielle, you're more than interested.
I'm more than interested. And there was this wonderful miniseries many years back, produced by one Steven Spielberg, who also I think is a World War II fanatic as well, called Band of Brothers, about the 101st Airborne Division that jumped into Normandy during World War II and just had a time of it. And so
wow, I wonder if they would love their challenges reduced to they had a time of it.
I'm not saying it was a good time of it. I'm just saying
they certainly
tough.
had a time of it.
It was very tough. Many of them died, and but anyway, but they became a band of brothers, and and you should all watch this miniseries because it's amazing.
Most people have seen it, although it was quite some time ago.
Yes, I'm still living it. Anyway, there is a Band of Brothers tour, you guys, and you can make your way through basically just if you guys need to know some of the tour stuff, they have it bookmarked. Basically, you begin at Omaha Beach, which is
what?
In Normandy,
okay,
where they parachuted in France, and then you make your way through France.
So it's in chronological order?
Yeah, so where they sort of traveled to, the heart of darkness in Germany at the time. Now Germany, I'm sure, is lovely. And then you go all through Normandy and France. You go to the afternoon features the beach, where you go to what is it? It's you go to the artillery firing places.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then wait, here's what's great. At the end, you make your way through Germany, through all the rest, and then you end up in Austria, where you do, if you choose, a Sound of Music tour, which is perfect for me. For someone who loves World War II and Broadway, it's just...
That's a gear shift.
Yeah, they do. Well, that's an extra bonus. They were like, if
you'd like to tack that on. Now, notice, I will probably, as I looked at the sort of people that are on this tour, I sent Casey a picture. It is 80-year-old men. Every single one is like... my grandpa.
Yeah, exactly. And that is who I will be traveling with at the time.
And your husband has said he will not go.
Well, I posed it to him and he just looked at me like, oh, okay.
So it's a solo journey.
So I believe it's a solo journey, but I do feel with these 8-year-old gentlemen, my dance card will be full.
Is this a week-long trip?
I believe it to be 10 days.
Oh my God.
I'm happy for. Are you kidding? Not long enough.
And I asked you, I was like, well, what are the hotel accommodations? And you let me down again. You said you think it's...
I think it's bare bones. Like, I think it's,
much like nothing more than maybe the brothers.
Yes,
experience.
as much as they lived kind of in foxholes and the like. I don't think it's much... I mean, I do think I'll be in a hotel, but I think it's like, not the top of the line.
And are you hoping that just the days are packed?
Yes, packed solid. And then, of course, for some sightseeing time at the end by myself to maybe check out a bakery or a beach.
Hopefully where artillery fire was.
Yes, hopefully. If I can dig up something, that'll be exciting for me. So, guys, I'm very excited about this. You should look it up. It looks amazing.
Wow, Danielle. Well, what a gorgeous... That's your Eat, Pray, Love.
That is completely my Eat, Pray, Love. That's my fight, look, die.
Oh, God. I don't know.
Wow. I don't dying. I'm saying like what I'm looking at.
I love that is like your dream trip.
It really is. I found it like it, of course, because I'm always looking up things. Like it came to me. I didn't search this out. Like it came to me over like an Instagram advertisement. It was like Band of Brothers. Like I'm sure I'm the only person on Instagram that has ever gotten this because everyone else that is on this tour is 80 years old, not on Instagram. So they're like, finally, we got one.
We got a live one.
We got a live one. Like, send her all your info.
Well, I feel like this is, our podcast does reach a lot of people. This is big for them. This is really big.
So again, Band of Brothers tour, check it out.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what I'm dealing with.
Well, this is a shift, but I was just going to quickly say that I feel like I kind of maligned Sweet Home Oklahoma last week, having not watched it. And then a couple listeners tweeted me. And they said I should try it, which I did. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, right off the bat, it's produced by Douglas Ross, who, if you'll remember, is the lead producer on Orange County, Beverly Hills, all of our favorite cities, Atlanta. He's been in the trenches. Mm-hmm. He basically created the Housewives.
He's like the Norman Lear of Housewives.
Absolutely.
Like, yes.
We're in good hands, which I wasn't expecting from the previews. And we are and we aren't. Like, they're doing interstitials with, like, townsfolk from Oklahoma that needs to go.
Okay.
But I think that will fall away if there's a season 2. It's just 3 friends that like each other. So already that's a troubled premise.
Yeah. Already, what are we here for?
Exactly. Now, they're all divorced in various stages of divorce. Mm-hmm. And one of them is named... Oh, God. Okay, I remember. She's got one name, but they call her Pumps. Pumps, and they're always like, pumpers, hey pumps. Nope. And it's so strange.
Tell me again why.
I don't know why, actually, but they're like, pumper used to be a hot ticket back in the day, and they're fun.
Okay.
And I have to say, I was so hating on it when it started. I'm like, this looks terrible. I don't like this. Who are these women? And damn it, if in the middle I wasn't like, I'm charmed. Now,
I'm not Southern charmed?
No.
Okay.
And I'm not going to report on it here because it's not worth that.
Are you going to private watch?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Because it's calming. It's kind of like a lot of times, if I've had anxiety at night, I'll turn on the home shopping, the Jewel network, where women are just like, that tanzanite. And they're showing their beautiful nails. Oh, I love to listen to it.
Wow.
After my mom died, I would listen to it every single night from dawn until dusk.
And is it just sort of your white noise?
It's so soothing. Nothing bad happens. They're just like, those rubies, Michelle. Ooh. Everyone's just so. Wow. They're just showing their beautiful fingers and the gloss off their nails. Are they beautiful
manicured?
Oh.
I love a good, when a hand model with a great manicure is
so
it does
glossy.
I hear that.
It touches something in me, like you seeing maybe like a cannon would on the field of battle.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm hearing.
But just their voices, it's so soothing. Mm-hmm. And I found Sweet Home Oklahoma to have that quality where it's not good, but it's not nasty like the one, I don't even know if it's coming back in the motherhood. Yes. How'd you know?
We watched it together.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But I'm going to keep an eye on these ladies.
Okay.
Especially Pumper.
I'm not
recommending this to a level of Southern charm. I wouldn't do that to you all.
No.
But it's something.
You all have busy schedules, but like
it's something. It's not nothing. That's my review.
That's a good review. Yeah. I feel like in our world, that's not even a Rotten Tomato. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, and I didn't even write anything down. There's nothing so crazy. There's nothing so great, but there's nothing so bad.
And that's...
Which at this point, very excited for the Big Little Lies finale tomorrow. Who did it? Who did it? Who dies?
Did someone die?
Oh, yes, Danielle.
Okay.
Or not tomorrow, sorry, Sunday.
Okay. I got to get on it. That is something I'm going to do like in my private time.
Okay, you're going to private watch that.
I'm going to private watch Big Little Lies.
Great. Well, since we have a shortened episode, let's get right into it.
Yes.
Or should we take a break?
Yes. We're back.
Hi.
Atlanta this week.
Atlanta. I have a lot to say.
What do you have to say?
I don't know.
I mean...
Well, we start off, if I may, with Portia in bed. Her bed is a sanctuary. It's pillows, beads, furs, throws, velour.
Yeah.
There's every fabric known to man. She's ensconced in luxury.
I feel like Portia might, on some days, not leave the bed. I believe
no, she's a bed person,
yeah.
As am I.
Yeah, like I feel like, and again, as a person myself who can eat a whole meal in bed, like but I don't have that sort of luxury going on.
You know, we keep salt and pepper on our bedside tables.
Wait, what? No.
Yeah, let's move on. My cleaning woman asked me, and I quote, "Do you cook up there?" Well, we'll get into that later. But since we had the baby, we tend to take our meals in bed. And it is shocking. And sometimes, and I'm not bragging, but we have a nice bedroom. It's a nice...
No, I've been in it. It's lovely.
Bedroom, and then...
A white sheet, too.
Yeah. Which has gotten soiled. And we have had to... We'll take like beach towels and like lay them out and then eat in bed. I'm a disgusting person. Yeah, we just take our meals up there.
I recently...
So horrible.
You know, there is no glamorous way to... I mean, I guess with a tray, if you're like Marie Antoinette, you know, like that sort of like a silver
for Father's Day, I bought David a gorgeous tray from Barney's because it was like, let's step up our base behavior.
Our bed eating game.
We never used it.
Well, just beach towels for you too.
So gross.
I love the salt and pepper. That to me, do you cook up there?
Genuinely, do you cook up there?
If you had the choice, would you?
Absolutely. I'd have like a hibachi grill.
Do you have a tiny fridge?
No, but I'd like one. I would in a perfect world.
Do yourself.
David's parents are people that always live with a mini fridge nearby. And it's a specific type of luxury that I can only dream of.
Yeah, that's...
Like, they're never far from a mini fridge, perfectly stocked.
You're living.
And as someone who grew up with like no snacks, nothing in the fridge, like that to me is living.
To me, a rich person when I was growing up is someone that had a refrigerator and then a refrigerator in their garage.
Where did you see such riches?
I mean, my best friend growing up, my girlfriend Erica, to me, they seemed like they...
Oh, I've never even seen that.
And to this day, now in her house, as an adult, she has a fridge in her house.
Because she needs that connection.
Yeah, she needs it. And she has 2 refrigerators. And that to me is like, God, you have so much in your life that you need a second refrigerator. To me, I'm always like, wow.
That is...
You're at the tippy top.
Absolutely. That's amazing. Wow. Blown away.
So back to Atlanta, though.
Back to Atlanta.
Now, the cargo fashion show. Now, I don't know why that Cynthia feels as if the cargo and herself have conquered LA and now they need to hit Atlanta. Like, she made it seem as if LA is under control. We've got it locked down.
She's like, much like the Kardashians, we took LA.
We took LA. Now we take Atlanta. And I disagree that they took LA.
Well, I was so confused because, and maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention. I thought this was going to be eyewear again. How many lines does she have?
2, I believe. There's the cargo bags. Right. Remember when she said to Sheree, when Sheree was like, is there any compensation? She's like, he'll get a bag.
Yes.
So that is... And then again, Sheree asked again, will there be compensation? And then Cynthia reiterated, he'll get a bag. Mm-hmm. And then that wasn't enough for Sheree. And then her assistant or partner in cargo let us know that not everyone who walks the runway will be getting a bag. So
Cairo did get that.
So Cairo did get the top of the line kind of payment as some of the other
we
girls.
Also saw a shout out to Cynthia's eyewear line on Candy's mother Mama Joyce's sister.
Yes.
Was wearing glasses, and Candy was like, "Oh, are those your Cynthia
Bailey eyewear?"
And she was like, "Mm-hmm." But back to Cargo, the underground
and we got
backpack fashion show.
No, here's my question to the ladies of Atlanta. I grew up in Atlanta. It's a hot town. You cannot be a place where there is no air conditioning. And
but never one event has had it.
I don't understand. As a person that lives there,
Not bar one. Not Kenya's weird hair care product where they opened up the packaging and it was empty.
Yes, not in houses. It seems to be... Like, I get it if you live, sometimes in California, you live near the beach. People just do not have air conditioning. I get that. But in Atlanta...
But there's a cross breeze.
Yeah, there's no sea. There's, like if you go down to Savannah, sure, why not? But Atlanta is...
There has never been an event in Atlanta, and this was no different, where people were having to pick up programs and paper plates to fan themselves
themselves like homeless people on the street.
Yeah.
And so get it together, ladies. Get some air conditioning.
Now,
cooling unit.
This fashion show, Cairo, was asked by Cynthia's daughter, "Are you nervous?" And Cairo didn't seem to be nervous because he showed up off so much more in other videos.
Yeah, he seems to be right at home in front of an audience.
And he shows up how late? 40 minutes?
Yeah.
And Sheree basically gets a dig in to Cynthia right away. She's like, this fashion show is like sewage underground.
Yeah, of course.
But
then Cairo seemed to have a problem walking at the top of the show.
Yeah.
He seemed to, and I get it, if all you're thinking about is I gotta walk, that can be problematic.
Well, and then when Cynthia's partner confronted Sheree about Cairo being late, and then he left, her friend says to her, "He tried to come for you." And Sheree goes, "He tried." She screamed, "He tried."
I love her.
It was good. And poor Bob, drenched in sweat.
Bob is in a full sweat when he is standing in front of a cooling unit. Like in that, like Bob is unhealthy, and I think we've all
on so many levels. So many levels.
So Bob needs to, deal with his.
Speaking of Bob, my girlfriend Meg Allen, I've mentioned her before on the podcast, and she's a devoted fan. And she, 2 episodes ago. Okay. She's gone a little cuckoo.
Okay.
She does not know the Housewives. Okay. And yet...
Oh, she doesn't know the Housewives?
Typed out the following tweet to Sheree that she was going to send until I slapped some sense into her. And it's very sweet. It's just a little much.
Okay.
She writes, here it is. @ I am Sheree. I just want to hug you so badly watching this car scene. I am so sorry for your pain, and I'm proud of your strength and bravery.
Wow! I know.
And it's so sweet. I guess I shouldn't have stopped her. There was just something. And then she wrote me. She's like, "I'm in too deep. I almost tweeted this in all sincerity." And I just said, "Take a step back." And here's the thing. It's beautiful sentiment, what she's saying. And she's such a sweet person. And now as I read it, I'm like, I guess she should have sent that to Sheree.
But again, as we know, Sheree, and as we saw with Kenya, when people come to comfort Sheree, in the moment she's okay, but then she will get you back.
I feel like Meg would have gotten tangled in something.
Now that I can step back, I'm like, it might not have been a good move. Again, it's a tangled web with these women. Anytime you get in with them, you're in too deep. Even just a tippy toe in with them.
I wrote to Bethany when I was on SNL about the whole Jill, when that whole thing was happening with Kelly Ben Simone. I took to an email. I think I've mentioned, and it's weird.
You're not going to get what you want.
These aren't our friends.
No, and you forget that. But then the minute you engage, you realize, like, don't engage.
But I think like these housewives do this to us, where we're like, I've got to get to them.
I know. I've got to tell them that it's
look
okay.
at us. We've started a podcast.
I know. But as we've said, we don't want to interact with them, and we avoid it at all costs.
I'd like to interact with some of them.
Which ones?
Some.
Wait, here's something that was funny to me, which is when Portia was saying that her and the other Todd were ready to have baby. Sorry, we're ready to have babies.
What? We're ready to have baby.
I don't know. I'm in Normandy right now. Sorry, I've got to come back. But
you mean in the baby nup scene?
Yes, in the baby nup scene. But when she was saying that we're ready to have babies, and this is how I know these are the signs, she said, "We're ready. We've been sending pictures back and forth of what our baby would look like." Like, that's the sign of, like, that's what it takes to know you guys are ready to conceive a child into this world.
So the fact that Portia had Phaedra Esquire, Frack Esquire, she called her, look over her baby nup, which she presented to
Which is not
Todd.
a legal document and could never be held up in a court of law.
It's just so wild. The whole thing is so wild. And why does she keep saying, she's like, I just want, she's like, what did she say? She's like, I'm just so concerned about having a baby pre-marriage. But I'm like, can't you control that?
Yeah.
If you don't want to.
You don't have to.
Yeah. But then I felt like Todd had some wise words. He said, quote, your comfort ain't gonna come in a piece of paper.
And that's true.
And that is true.
From a man who has never said a wise word, wise words.
And I felt like he stuck up for himself.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Now here's words I never thought I'd hear uttered. Hot dog bun vagina.
When was that?
When Portia was saying, if you have a baby, you're going to, Phaedra was saying, if you have a baby, you're going to get a hot dog bun vagina. She says, so big you could have a cookout in your pants.
A cookout where?
In your pants.
There's just so
hot
fucking
dog bun
funny.
Vagina, so big. Your vagina's going to be so big you could have a cookout in your pants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was tough. And not true. P.S. As a woman that has had a baby, it's going to be fine down there.
There were a lot of gorgeous words this week.
Kenya having some self-reflection, but then Kenya didn't have a doorbell. And that reminds us who we are and where we are. Much like Richard Simmons.
Yes.
She does not have a doorbell. And that made me feel for Kenya because she struggles.
The gorgeous quote I'm thinking of is when Kenya says, and I quote, concerning her Todd, Dick can't control me, I control Dick. And it's true, you know. Sometimes there's poignant statements.
Sometimes you need to hear something, really hear it.
And did you see, okay, so then we did a scene in Mama Joyce's house, which is like pillars. It's so gorgeous. Yes. Candy is splashing out for Mama Joyce.
Oh my God.
And her sisters seem not only not grateful that Todd is starting Old Lady Gang, and they probably don't want to work with Todd as much as anyone.
Yeah.
But they seem angry. By OLG.
Yeah, the OLG seems to not want, they just want to get paid, as they've said from the beginning. The OLG has been like, do you remember that one episode, I want to say last season, where they all like take off in a screeching car being like, we're going to get paid! Like these 90-year-old women. Like, so it seems to me they're just saying like, they're just kind of like, bitch, where's my money?
But it's like, Todd doesn't have any money.
No, he sure does not.
The city won't let them open it.
No, again, have they opened officially yet?
Candy, they're doing a soft opening, and I imagine it was very soft.
Yeah, I think it's like friends and family. I do believe it's crowded there for now. Like, I don't know what's going to happen to the Old Lady Gang.
I don't either.
I worry. Maybe I worry for nothing.
TBD. And when we go to Atlanta for the show, I'd like to go.
I'd like to eat lunch there.
I would love to.
April, can you get us a reservation? Do you think so? Friends and family discount.
Like,
I would love it.
It's walk-in only.
Food is delicious.
Oh, I'm sure it's good.
Will they have a permit in order to seat us? Not sure.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'd love to try it. I'd like to try it out.
You know, then there was a scene between Phaedra and Cynthia, which was wild. Phaedra was wearing an outfit that I truly, it was an olive green bodysuit, more cutouts than coverage. It was so confounding to the eye. It never began. It never ended. It went every way and yet didn't.
It sort of didn't land.
It didn't land anywhere. It's the wildest outfit I've ever seen.
Was it a thong that then...
It was a high-cut jumpsuit that she wore with the jeans. So, like, exposing a vulnerable part of one's body. Just wear to your girlfriend's house. And sheer olive with crisscross straps that...
Was it a bathing suit, and did she think she was going to jump into the lake? Was that...
I feel like she was trying to be like, I'm going to a lake house.
Okay. But then, like, a heavier pant over it. So
it was wild. It was truly wild.
I, too, noticed. I was like, what am I getting eyes on?
What am I seeing?
It's always a lot. Like, I always have to, like, freeze and process with her. Like, I just have to go, like, okay. With me.
Because, and believe me, I am not a person that thinks you can't both be Christian and sexy. Of course not. But it is a wild duality that exists within one Phaedra Parks Esquire.
Some would say hypocrisy. Just is she wears hypocrisy. And that is what she wears.
She is just a cliche of like a Southern woman, a religious woman.
It's
like
so strange.
But yet walking in that outfit was truly phenomenal.
And I said this, and I think you said it too, which is, guys, and I'm not proud of this, and I don't know how I feel about this, and things can change next week, but I've turned on Phaedra.
I know. She just is very shady. And I feel like Kenya cannot catch a break with these women. No. And especially when we flash back to Flint, I'm like, you know what? Kenya came out to Flint with you to your summer camp. Portia was nowhere to be found. And I mean, I guess Kenya's from there, but Kenya is trying to be a friend. And I thought Phaedra's just incredibly shady.
She is. And that stuff with Candy, I know I'm jumping ahead, but just to like not only engage with this guy in general and not think it's a conflict of interest, and that it would, and then to expose this new stuff where that someone stole a mother's love.
That idea is too terrible to have been stolen
or thought of.
So basically, if you didn't see it, like Phaedra shows up with Candy's old assistant at a partner, a very distinguished lawyer's office, and said she wants to help him because he's claiming that Candy and Todd stole all these ideas from him.
And that's why also that Phaedra's so shady, because this guy at first was just like, they didn't pay me my due, like they were supposed to pay me, and then realized like
first it seems like there's back hours he wasn't paid for.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, like you shouldn't take the case, but that's a real thing, sure, why not? Then when you just get into lies and bullshit, it's like then
it's like he stole a mother's love from us. And then the final thing was that apparently this guy came up with a proposal for Old Lady Gang.
Which I feel like we saw that born on screen.
I feel like that was a fever dream Todd had and then willed into existence, but even the universe refuses to make it happen.
And why would you want to claim this thing at this point anyway? Like,
and this assistant seems a little, I'm sorry.
He's just
no offense to assistants, April. He seems a little shady. Like he's like, I do hugs. I fucking hate when people say, when you just want to shake their hand and they go, I do hugs.
I know.
It's like, I don't want to hug you.
Though I haven't said I do hugs. But sometimes if someone goes in for a handshake and I go in for a hug and it's awkward, then I feel the need to acknowledge that sometimes I hug.
That's fine. But I do hugs is just so, it's very Eileen.
Yeah, well.
Very Eileen.
Then I'm against it.
Yeah.
She can't get a break with me.
I mean, I just felt like, and then April was pointing this out, for Phaedra to have the nerve after that scene where she's like, I just want him to get proper legal counsel. So I brought him to someone and she's like, I'm done with it. And she's like, I'm not trying to get involved in this in any way, shape, or form. It's like, you're delivering Candy's assistant to a high-powered lawyer who's going to sue her and humiliate her.
Exactly. And if you're mad at Candy, just be mad to her and at her and say something and curse her. But to do this shady...
Phaedra cannot forgive. And that's where she's such a hypocrite with her Christianity.
But she pretends she does. And that's another thing. Because it's like, then just say it. But she won't, because it's like, let's get it out. Let's talk about it. Let's at least be copacetic. And
and I've been saying this from the beginning. I do feel like Kenya can forgive and move on.
Yes, she can. So
I was pretty shocked by that ending.
Yeah, I was mad. I felt like betrayed by Phaedra because I've stuck up for her and loved her through so much, even when she hasn't been at her best. But this felt too low for even her.
The one thing that bothered me before we move off Atlanta is, so you know that whole scene with Todd and Kenya where they were co-parenting their dogs at the dog shop and their dog's birthday.
For the birthday. Yeah.
And, it was wild. But aside from that, Todd tried to kind of call Kenya out at one point, and she just went and stood behind the producers. I'm like, there's a piece of this that's missing that we don't know. There's something Kenya's trying to hide, and it's hard for me to invest because there's so much alluded to. Like, well, you said all those things to me and I know it's just a toxic relationship, but there is pieces of it, I feel like, of the puzzle I'm not getting, much like Phaedra's jumpsuit.
If you look at it from a different angle, you see something else.
Yes.
Their relationship and her jumpsuit.
It's like a magic eye.
Yeah, I hear that. And I also feel like those little tidbits we get when he's like, well, we had sex in my truck the other night because you wanted to.
That was tough.
That was a tough sentence. Just like, having sex in a truck is just tough as it is.
And they're in this back alleyway, loading dock area. And I honestly felt it was dangerous on the part of the producers. There was something I felt like, I think this guy's unhinged. I'm afraid for Kenya.
But then, and I understand that Kenya's in a toxic relationship, but she's acting like she's trying to move past it. But then he called her out on having sex in his truck on her whim.
It's all wrong.
So yeah, again, pieces of the puzzle. We're not seeing it all. Not that any of it's Kenya's fault in terms of I think he's unhinged.
Yeah. And I feel like, well, then we got a glimpse next week that Apollo's girlfriend shows up. Where is she showing up at?
Some party.
A party. Oh, for candy? Shoot, I can't remember.
Yeah,
I was so focused on the fact that, and then the way she came in was so classic. Like, I'm ready for prime time. She was like, "Oh, I'm Apollo's girlfriend."
No, it was the old lady gang.
Old lady gang. Okay, of course.
I can't believe we didn't know. The like even softer opening of like the like like just like the like
the mush
opening the oatmeal opening of the old lady gang. But for some reason, did Todd invite her? Because why would she be there otherwise?
Yeah, I think yes.
And then that's him being shady. And I've always said that he's shady and gross anyway.
Yeah. Although I kind of appreciated the way he and Mama Joyce seem to have like a friendly banter now.
I'm not comfortable with
forced?
that yet. Not that it's forced. I'm just like, all has not been forgiven on my part. Like, I don't forgive Mama Joyce for as much as I don't love Todd, the way she came after.
Of course not.
Her daughter's husband, soon to be husband, was just awful. Like,
awful.
So so they're all buddy, and I'm like, I'm not okay yet. Like, I need to process this.
Yeah.
You guys have moved on, but I haven't.
Yeah.
I still hurt.
Yeah. Let's take a break. Okay, we're back with Beverly Hills. Mm-hmm. We were remiss last episode, we got a lot of tweets about, and you know what? All I can do is apologize, much like Erica had to apologize to Eileen about the fact that we didn't catch Dorit's pronunciation of missile.
Yeah. And not that it didn't bump me, but so much happened in the episode. Yeah. Like,
it was just so much, but that we were wrong.
Yeah. I apologize
for not bringing that up. It was wrong.
Yeah. It was, there's nothing to say except for like, we'll do better. When you know better, you do better.
Hope everyone can forgive us because that was a big miss for us.
Sorry.
Wow. This was an episode. We're still in Hong Kong. It wasn't as explosive as last week.
No, last week, every minute there was just like something else to look at.
The hits kept coming.
This weekend,
there was a lot to look at in terms of outfits this week.
Well, it was almost like the night after. It wasn't even the junk boat. It was like that weird place that sort of looked like the junk boat. Like both nights sort of looked the same, so I get confused. But the night after the Erica Jane incident, where everyone just came, like it was, they were using the last outfit in their suitcase, the one they didn't think they'd have to.
But it feels like they used the very last one on the trip to shopping the next day.
Yes.
When we found Dorit in a ripped up, but yet so perfectly placed sweatsuit, like 3/4 length. That was hideous. Mm-hmm. And then Eileen in what is even that color? Gray? Olive?
Perhaps it fit her so wrong.
Jumpsuit? And it was like,
it was like a color
what's the material?
Color of smog.
Linen? Was it linen?
Yeah, I believe like an off linen.
With the pockets halfway between the breast and the vag.
A terrible place. Why would you put a pocket there?
It was awful.
It fell in the worst places. Eileen, please.
It was awful.
I beg you, Eileen. I beg you.
Well, we're going to get to what she was wearing at the end. Because it's so upsetting.
We all screamed.
We screamed. And we'd been warned. But Kyle was not looking any better in the shopping trip with that white. Okay, Kyle, we know you're liking it off the shoulder. And we've been okay with it.
Yeah, we're getting there with it.
But then we were billowing out like Jerry Seinfeld's puffy shirt. It was shocking.
I feel with Kyle's fashion sense, and I can't remember if we said this before, but it's...
I'm sure we have.
2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
Yeah.
Like anytime we make a move forward and make a move in the right direction, then they keep bringing us back.
Yeah, absolutely. And Eden in this episode was in a tough color for her complexion, which was a rust.
A rust, yeah.
With a rust lip.
And also, under the rust shirt, the backless rust shirt, she seemed to just have a tank top. Like a cotton, loose fitted, not even like a cami, but like just a loose fitted tank top.
And just when I was feeling for her, everyone's like paying all this money for all of this, and we did April did the conversion for us. But first, I was thinking Lisa Vanderpump is just.
It was so hard.
It was throwing $11,000 out.
Couldn't get my head around. April literally had to stop and be like, "This is what it is."
She's like, "It's $1,400."
We were like, "Oh, okay."
But the fact that Eden bought Erica a friendship ring, literally my heart is feeling a heaviness. It's so desperate. And it's so upsetting.
Nobody liked that moment, including Erica Jane.
No, and I felt badly because I was starting to feel for Eden. I feel like she doesn't have a ton of money. And I don't know, it was just so uncomfortable. It was such a grand gesture that not only is not wanted, I kind of felt badly that Erica then went upstairs, made fun of her to everyone, I'm going to tell you, and I said it. I'm going to say it.
Is this the moment that it happened?
Erica, I love 100%, and you know that.
I know you.
But 1% off I felt I've been feeling from her because I don't know. It's like it's wrong that she's buying you this ring, but she is. And she's going to see this moment, and it's not right to like gather everyone around and be like, this fucking idiot thinks I want a friendship ring from her. It's mean.
And
Eden is not right.
No. I felt that, like, I was like, not a great color on Erica Jane. That said, like, I think I just forgive her of things because I like her. You know what I mean?
And
like,
I do too. Look, I do too. And I loved her apology to Eileen. I thought that was such a class act. And she needed it. And they seemed to have a very nice friendship. Although you said.
Well, I said that because basically Erica Jane was like, she was like, Eileen was like, we have a really good friendship. And I said, I think their friendship is just Erica tolerates Eileen, and that's good enough.
And Eileen feels like we really have it.
In Eileen's world, that's enough. In this world of women, the fact that she tolerates her and doesn't sort of make fun of her is enough.
Yeah, Erica's like, listen, I'm sorry. Eileen's like, oh.
Yeah, we're good. Don't even finish your apology. But there was that weird moment at the beginning where Eileen's just staring off to space in the middle of that like Hong Kong hotel lobby.
Ooh, that was weird.
That was real strange. We've never seen kind of her in one of those like weird.
That to me is her though. Mm-hmm. Just a 1,000-yard stare. Okay, PK is so gross. Calling Erica on a conference like phone, like a business phone, down to the bar in that disgusting monstrosity of a house.
Oh, I hate that house. And I know we've talked about it on the show before, but I hate it more. Seeing that artwork of just like the wine glass. I think April pointed it out behind, like, just like, that's like, again, I'm not saying you have to have high end artwork, but actually these women, they need to.
And it's just such a gross house for gross people. And he has these weird, we were treated to as Wiccan tattoos. Oh, he's so gross.
And then to take a cheap shot at Erica, but like she doesn't see her husband. I'll call her husband just to see when's the last time he saw her.
And I got to say, then this is flashing forward, but Dorit really did herself a disservice. And I don't mean the gold headpiece, because I actually liked that. But like later next week, we see that she comes back at Erica with like, well, you weren't wearing anything else. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, you thought this. Mm-hmm. I'm going to quote the great Marianne Williamson, a self-help guru that I am obsessed with. And she has such beautiful sentiments. And she has this phrase, which is that everybody knows everything. Well, you can try to lie. You can try. Everyone knows who likes them. Everyone knows who doesn't. Everyone knows what everyone's feeling. It's just out there energetically, not to be kooky. But Dorit, we all know you were trying to kind of punish her and shame her. And then there it came right out from under the surface.
Yeah, it sure was. It was there the whole time. One of our listeners, Beth, just tweeted that in that like gold thing that she looks like, what's his name? Targaryen from Game of Thrones when he got like killed by having gold poured all over him.
And I wish that happened to Dorit.
Which I thought, like, thank you, Beth, for that's an amazing observation. And I'll never be able to unsee it. And I'm glad I'm not able to unsee that. Well,
and we have a piece of theater.
Mm-hmm. Every once in a while on this program, we like when something hits us and we're like, this needs to be done.
A beautiful scene work.
Yeah. And so tonight,
I will be stepping into the role of Farah Dubois, who is Erica Jane's character on Young and the Restless.
And I'll be doing whoever Eileen is playing. I don't even know her character's name. She's been playing this character for 38 some odd years.
Eileen?
Probably.
Sure.
Or just like,
sure, it's just like Eileen and her husband's Vinny.
I think her name is Eileen again.
Look, I am warming to Eileen a little bit.
I know you are, and I can't quite get my head around it. Like, I'm just like, every time you say something, you're always like, oh, that was cute. I'm like, Casey,
she's a good person.
I acknowledge that, but we can still separate that.
And you're right. That has no, like, we can't reward that.
No, not in this world.
No.
Good people, they get left behind.
Okay. Okay.
You know what? Like, get on my side or...
Okay, so we'll set the scene. Mm-hmm. I am in a white blazer, and I guess we're at a bar or a restaurant?
A coffee house?
And this is a scene between Erica Jane and Eileen in The Young and the Restless.
Okay. Walking. Eileen's at a bar. It seems like she's just gotten a coffee. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
She spills it all over Erica Jane. Ah! Are you kidding me?
Excuse me. In my defense, you could watch where you're going.
You want to know where I was going? To show a $3 million listing until you doused me with hot coffee all over my new suit.
But as I said, my apologies.
This is custom couture and it's ruined.
Shut up. You know what? And you know what? Be quiet. And you know what else? Have a nice day.
What a bitch.
Scene.
Gorgeous.
Now,
I was screaming trying to channel Erica's reaction level.
Now, I have to say, where in the audition or pre-read, as we call it sometimes, her first audition for Young and Restless, I thought she got all the notes. Like, I thought, like,
it was more grounded.
Yeah, it was more grounded. It was more real. And I know we like to raise the stakes and we get excited, but this felt a bit much of a performance.
Well, considering we found out after that these two characters don't seem to know each other.
No, not a bit.
I thought they were like frenemies.
Chance meeting.
Yeah. And we also were treated to another set, which is Kyle on the set of her scripted show.
Yes. Now, we have talked about the show before.
The best. Okay, they show first. It just like the Chiron says like Kyle on set for her scripted show, and you know she's in her kind of like flannel like work commoner shirt.
Like I'm in my like producer of a behind the scenes, not in front of the camera. I don't want to cause too much attention. I'm behind the scenes. Don't look at me shirt.
She's really working. And the best is that the first line out of her mouth, she's like, how long do you think we're going to have to be here till?
It's like, I just want to be here for as little
and
time
I
as
hate
possible.
to say this, but a source in the world of the show has told me that, you know, the show was picked up. She has not come to set one time. Okay,
So
but
there
she's
you
so
go.
busy,
But
and
she's
she and
very
Mauricio are
busy.
juggling so much.
Oh, the agency. I have to sell all these agency t-shirts.
And look, I hate to say that because, you know, she is quite busy, I'm sure.
Yes, of course.
But I don't know that she's as crazed as we are made to believe.
Yes, as her and Mauricio make us believe. Now let's talk about this party. I didn't know we were at the end yet. Like to hear that we were at the season finale was shocking to me. I didn't think we were there yet. This season has been as much of a sludge as last season. I feel like there.
Really,
yeah.
I disagree. I thought this has had so much more because I remember.
No, I'm saying it's not as much.
Oh, I thought you said it
you.
was. Okay.
No.
Okay, we're good.
Are we okay?
Yeah.
You know what?
You know what? This is couture. This party snuck up on me.
Yeah.
I think it snuck up on everyone.
It did, including
Kyle.
Kyle, too, including Kyle, who had
including
to cut her
Lisa's-
pants with a scissor.
Including Lisa's straight pony handler.
Now, as I asked you, what's the difference between the pony handler and the pony groomer?
I don't know.
Two different jobs, two different people.
I think he like exercises them.
Can't she?
She's doing their hair.
No, can't.
Putting
Lisa
glitter on their hooves. Lisa's not going to do shit.
Well, she's constantly making out with them. She can't take them for a walk.
God, no. Did you see that look Hanky Panky and Panky gave Lisa Rinna?
Yes, they gave her such side eye.
She's like, oh, hello, Hanky and
Hanky
Panky.
Panky. And they're like, bitch.
They look just like, get us off this fucking show.
Yeah, Hanky and Panky are not okay. And I also believe, what are the horses' names again?
Oh, Diamonds and Rose.
Yeah, Diamonds. Yes, that's exactly. I almost said Tootie and Fruity.
No, Diamonds and Rose.
Diamonds and Rose. But you know what? I bet if Lisa could, she would carry that horse like she does Jiggy. Just think in her arm, in a sweater, like walking him around.
Wasn't a big fan of Erica's look.
No, I was not either. The pink wig and the short dress. Not even the short, but like the bedazzling of it. I'm sure it was so expensive, more than I could ever afford, but I still didn't love it. And I reserve the right to say that.
I feel bad at what I'm saying today. You know how much I love Erica.
I know you do.
But I don't know. I mean, I guess at the party I felt like, how come Mr. Girardi didn't come?
I've always excused it for myself. So I can live with it, which is that like, he's like, I'm a professional person. I'm a lawyer with huge cases. I'm saving lives.
Then I just wish that would be said.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, he doesn't want something to do with the show because the fact that we've seen him, it almost makes his absences more glaring. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Especially since this is the one where she's kind of demanding this apology from Dorit and PK.
Yeah, like to give her like, I'm going to be by your side during this thing because I know this is hard.
Do you see the way PK just drinks in his wife with his eyes? It's so gross.
I hate him so
It's like you guys are married.
I hate looking at him.
He looks at her so lecherously.
I know.
Ugh. He's so disgusting.
You said to me at some point, do you believe she has to have sex with him?
Yeah, that was in the limo.
Yeah, you were like,
when he climbed across the seat.
You said it as if it was the first time you thought it. You were like, she has to have sex. Like, and you were so depressed about it. You're like, she has to have sex with that man.
It's tough, but as she said, she birthed her 2 babies so she can handle anything in these parts.
Yeah, and I guess these parts mean her vagina. She can handle anything in these parts, including a pig man's penis.
Danielle, we have to wrap up earlier today.
We do.
But we do have a special treat right before we end things, which is from my sister-in-law,
Miss
Shira Weiss. Shira Caspe Weiss.
Otherwise known as the Lighthouse.
Yes. And, she's brought
us so many gifts of different reality shows we've never even thought of. Some that don't even run on a real channel, but just on like a scroll down at the bottom of the TV Guide channel, like things we never would have looked.
And, Braxton Family Values has always held a certain place in her own family values. And she's just basically...
She texted us today and was like, guys, you need to
hear this. And so basically she's written something that I'll just read. Yeah, I'll care to read. And it's just more of a public service announcement.
Yes, for you guys.
Guys, there are 5 Braxton sisters. They can all sing. They were originally in a family band and recorded albums before Tony went solo and got hugely famous and won all the Grammys and stuff. She then hired them to make up for the betrayal. They all had to sing backup for her, in all caps. Back up! She even, all caps, fired them off the tour at some point at the height of her fame. Then she had to, quote, take several seats, that's in quotes, take several seats when she lost her money and came crawling back to do this reality show with them. The true star of Braxton Family Values, however, is Tamar, the youngest sister who at some point during the run of Braxton's breaks out and gets her own spin-off show, which all the sisters are super understanding about and totally cool with. And she does a wink emoji. All caps. What else? What else? What else do you guys need to know, really? You must be watching this. One of the sisters has a weird condition where she has orgasms all day and she's totally open about it. What? 2 of them are in loveless, sexless marriages. One of them gets a DUI at some point and then capitalizes on it by opening up a bar later in the season, as one does. There's a lot going on and it's all worth a watch. I beg you all to watch it. Bye!
And you guys know when she says watch a show, she has brought us, Chisley knows best. Or she said Chisley will find you.
It's Chrisley.
So,
Danielle,
what is it?
Chrisley. Chisley. Chisley knows. And I mean, we don't even know Chrisley so well that it's wrong. Like, it's not like a dignitary that we should know their name, but Chisley knows best is really what it should be called. Chisley. She did introduce us to Chisley knows best.
And she also said, don't go looking for Chisley. Chisley will find you.
It's Chrisley.
Never again will it be Chrisley to me.
Yeah, he'll always be Chisley to me. But she says why Braxton Family Values is the best Housewives franchise you aren't watching. Those are big words. And again, I'll remind you, this is someone who has watched a show about the Carney Wilson and her sisters on the TV Guide channel where it was just in a small box. And so they refused to make it full screen.
It didn't deserve it to be.
No, it was like, while you're finding your shows, you can if you want.
You choose to peruse, to take one eyeball and put it over to the right and watch the show Shira, while the left one is on this.
That was appointment television for Shira. So she knows what she's talking about. Mm-hmm. So we leave you with Braxton Family Values. Gosh, what an episode.
What an episode. What a life. Thank you, Shira.
Thank you, Shira. Thank you, Danielle, for opening up about your Band of Brothers tour. And all I can say is I hope you get there.
Yes, thank you. We can all hope. Next year in Germany.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Have a great week.
Bye, guys.
Hey everybody, this is W. Kamau Bell. You may know me from such podcasts as Denzel Washington is the greatest actor of all time, period. But I have another podcast with Hari Kondabolu called Politically Reactive. We're starting up our second season on March 29th, and we're joining the Earwolf family. Subscribe now on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This has been an Earwolf production, executive produced by Scott Aukerman, Chris Bannon, and Colin Anderson. For more information and content, visit earwolf.com.